I'm Matthew Lowe, and this is my epic trip to China. We start out by flying from Indianapolis to Shangri-La, or Shangri-La, China. Shangri-La, China is situated on the eastern edge of the Tibetan Plateau. The name Shangri-La comes from a 1933 novel called Lost Horizon, written by James Hilton. In his book, Hilton describes Shangri-La as a mythical land of utopia with inner peace, love, and fulfillment awaiting anyone who can find it. The town was originally called Zhongdian, but at the end of 2001, the name was changed to Shangri-La in hopes of boosting tourism. I'll be making 2 stops in Shangri-La, first at the Ganden Sinling Monastery, and then at the Tiger Leaping Gorge. The Sinling Monastery was built by some Tibetan name that I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce in 1679. It was heavily damaged during the Cultural Revolution, but was rebuilt in 1983. It currently houses over 700 Buddhist monks. Meanwhile, the Tiger Leaping Gorge is a series of rapids in the Jinsha River, a major tributary of the Yangtze River. The series of rapids is between Jade Dragon Snow Mountain and Haba Snow Mountain. It is in the 3 parallel rivers of Yunnan protected area. Take a minute to appreciate the stunning beauty of Shangri-La as I play some royalty-free Chinese music. I could stay in Shangri-La all week, but I have more places to go, so it's on another plane to Lishan, China. Lishan, China translates to Happy Mountain. It is located at the merging point of the Dadu and Mu River. Nearby is Mount Emi and the giant Buddha, which we will be seeing shortly. Lishan is famous for its flowering crab apples. It is also heavily polluted. The Lishan giant Buddha is a 233-foot-tall stone statue from the Tang Dynasty. The project was begun in 713 by monk Haitong, who believed that creating a statue of the Buddha along the river would calm its turbulent waters that were wreaking havoc on trading ships. It is believed that so much stone was removed from the cliff face that indeed the river current was changed and shipping along the river was safer. When Haitong died, it took another 70 years for his disciples to finish the job. Among the statue's features is a complex draining system that still works today and a wooden structure that once protected the statue. The structure was destroyed during the Mongol rule in the Yuan dynasty. If you know me, you know that I like trains, and my trip to China is no exception. Although China has a large high-speed rail network, it also has smaller, slower lines like the Jiayang Coal Railway. Unlike most railways in China, this is a narrow-gauge railway, which means the distance between the rails is shorter than the standard 4.5. More specifically, it is 2 feet and 6 inches. The railway was built in 1938 and upgraded in 1960. During the 60s, mixed trains of coal and passengers were introduced, and then in 1975, trains dedicated to passenger trains were introduced. The railway still uses steam engines as it is in the heart of coal country. A train ride from one end of the line to the other takes 75 minutes in a cramped wooden carriage while breathing in the soot and ashes coming out of the engine. Doesn't it sound like fun? Located a few hours outside of Lishan, a trip to here and back, along with the giant Buddha, will take most of the second day. It's not over for trains, though. We get to go on another train ride to Chongqing, China, where we're off to see the Three Natural Bridges. It's kind of a boring name, but it's not boring at all. The Three Natural Bridges are a series of limestone bridges in the Wulong Karst National Geology Park. All of the bridges are named after dragons: Tianlong, Qianlong, and Heilong. Can you guess what they all mean? The bridges are part of the Yangshui River Valley, which is a tributary of the Wu River. Apart from bridges, there are also caves, waterfalls, and plenty of hiking to explore the area. This area has been used as a film set for multiple movies, including Transformers. User Cybertroner on TripAdvisor describes the Three Natural Bridges as, "It's so difficult to find words to express my impressions about this very place." Wouldn't it be cool to stay in a glass case or glass observatory suspended from the underside of one of those bridges and just look down on all the people? It's only wishful thinking, though. But we have no time for wishful thinking. We have to get back to Chongqing and head on another train. Chugga 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 choo choo. Our first stop is at the Longyou Grottos in Chuzhou, China. They were discovered in 1992 after local resident Wu Anai bought a pump to drain a supposedly infinitely deep pond in the town. After draining the pond, Anai discovered that it was not a pond, but it was an entrance to an underground cave. Several other local ponds were drained, and in total, 24 of these caves were discovered. These are not ordinary caves, though. They are man-made caves dating back to 200 BC, around the time of the Qin dynasty. The caves are at a maximum depth of 100 feet and contain carvings and drawings that have yet to be deciphered. Strangely, there is no record of the cave's construction, no record of the tools used to construct it, or what the purpose was. All we know is that the caves have tall, smooth walls, and they are not connected. Too bad Indiana Jones wasn't around for this. Nearby is Huangshan. Can you guess what it means? Here, I'll give you a hint. It starts with yellow and ends with mountain. Do you know what it is? Huangshan is well known for its scenery, so much so that it is part of Chinese culture, part of song, writing, and paintings. It is believed to have been formed 100 million years ago by glaciers. Since then, it has become a popular tourist attraction outside of the hustle and bustle of Beijing, Shanghai, and other major Chinese cities. Visitors can attempt to climb to the top of the mountain on steps as old as 1,500 years. There are believed to be 60,000 steps in the region. Can you walk up all of them? Well, you can find that out. I'm not. There are plenty of paved walkways, hiking trails, and cable cars to explore the mountain. If you're not satisfied, you can explore the Nine Dragon Waterfall and forests at the base. You can also stay in a hotel on the mountain. China seems to have a knack for grottos, and we're off to see another one. This time, we're heading to the Longmen Grottos outside of Lowe. At these grottos, there are up to 100,000 Buddhist statues in what is believed to be China's greatest collection of Buddhist art. They are all carved from the limestone cliffs of the Xiang and Longmen Mountains. They are alongside the Yi River, which is a tributary of the Lowe River. On the west side of the bank are most of the statues, and on the east side of the bank are the caves that the monks lived in during construction. Construction began in 493 AD, and intensive restoration began in 1953. There are also numerous temples nearby, seen as though this is one of the most important sites in Buddhist China. Our next stop is at Huashan, or Flower Mountain, which is 75 miles east of Xi'an. Huashan is known in China for its religious significance and its Trail of Doom, but I'll get to that in a moment. Huashan's religious significance dates back to about 200 BC when a Taoist temple was built at the base. Taoists believe that Huashan is the home to the god of the underworld. There are many other Taoist and Taoist temples in the region, but one stands out as a Taoist temple at the top of Mount Hua is now used as a tea house for hikers who manage to reach the summit. The trails of Huashan are some of the most dangerous hiking trails in the world. In fact, some of the most dangerous areas, as if there were areas more dangerous than the ones you are currently seeing, have been closed. Incredibly, some people like to climb at night so they can see the sunrise in the morning. There are several routes to the top. Cable car is probably the safest. And going up on boards nailed to the wall or to the cliffside is probably the most dangerous. One other thing. Once you are on the trail, you cannot go back because there is not enough room. Once you're on, you're always on. If I had to give you any advice, it would be to not look down. We're nearing the end of our trip, so why not take things slow with a road trip? A road trip on a road of doom. Cast your minds to 1970. We're in an isolated town in China, more specifically the village of Guoliang. Situated in the Tailong Mountains, Guoliang was isolated from the rest of China. The only way to and from was a treacherous hike known as the Sky Ladder. Officials from the village asked the Chinese government for help, but were mostly unanswered. Undeterred, 13 villagers decided to carve their own tunnel through the mountain. The pictures you're seeing are the result. Villagers sold their animals and other necessities to pay for hammers, chisels, and pickaxes. A few villagers paid their lives for this tunnel. At times, the rate of tunneling was 1 meter every 3 days. The result you see, constructed without a single engineer, is 3/4 of a mile long. It has brought Guoliang more attention than anticipated, but with it, revenue from tourists. I hope we don't run off the cliff while we're on the drive there. And that, for the most part, concludes my trip to China. I hope you guys enjoyed because I put a lot of work into this. So, I'll see you on the other side of the world. Hopefully, not in a train